dear. Look at the state of this. This is setting the tone for today's video. Let me make myself a little bit more presentable and I'll tell you all about it. Hey folks, it's Finn. Welcome back, lovely people. Thanks for tuning in. And if you're watching for the very first time, then thank you for choosing one of my videos. And this is probably a really good video to choose to watch for the very first time, because this video is going to be all about the kind of content I'm making at the moment and the sort of content I'm going to be making going forward. The actual style of content, not so much the content of my content, but the style of my content. And it's also going to be about perfectionism, and that's related to the content of my content, but more the style of my content. Now this would be where I'd normally pause and stop and start again, but I'm not going to, because imperfection or not worrying about being perfect is the whole point of this video. Right, so everybody who has watched my content and knows everything that's going on at the moment knows that this chronic illness that I'm managing at the moment means that I'm really struggling to get you regular content up, because of course being constantly fatigued, managing it, the cognitive processing, just to demonstrate there, my brain just switched off for a moment, just managing the whole process of setting up a camera, the lighting, being awake enough to talk to you all, thinking of topics, all of that stuff, and then editing it, uploading it, all of that business is really hard work with chronic fatigue. And so I've just been really behind with content, which really makes me sad because I love doing what I do. But on top of that, I've also got a real problem with the fact that I'm a real perfectionist, and I don't like it when my content is, in my eyes at least, less than I'd like. So I want the lighting to be perfect. I want the sound to be perfect, I want the staging to be perfect. I want my hair to be perfect, my hair hasn't been cut for weeks. So what also holds me back from making content is worrying about the fact that, my words aren't coming out properly, or I look really awful, or I haven't had a haircut, or the room's not tidy enough and I haven't got the spoons, the energy to tidy it up to do a video. And all of that adds up. So I've got the illness, chronic fatigue, ME, myalgic encephalomyelitis, stopping me from making content. And then I've got my high perfectionism also stopping me from making content. Now, you might have seen a few videos recently. One springs to mind where me and Chris are sat on the sofa talking, where it's very raw, there is no editing whatsoever, and I just pressed record, we spoke, and I uploaded it. It was so nerve-wracking because it was such a rough video, and so many of you have said how lovely it was just to see that really raw video. And that is it. That's really what I'm aiming for now going forward. This is what I'm going to do. I had a bit of an epiphany in Glastonbury, in that this is what happens every year, isn't it? When I go to Glastonbury Festival, I have this kind of introspective moment of just realising something, and this is what I've realised. I just want to make content. I just want to go back to what I used to do in the very, very beginning, when I first started sharing my transition story and my mental health recovery, was I would just make a video every week. I'd press record, I'd blurt out some kind of Finn waffle, I'd press stop, I'd upload it, and that would be it. I wouldn't edit it, I wouldn't worry about it, that would be it. And that's what I want to do now, because there is so much I want to share at the moment, with everything that's going on with ME, with how this relates to everything really, my transition, my mental health, the journey of learning to manage ME and what it's all about, the impact on me and Chris, the impact on my life. There is so much I want to share, but the more I worry about presenting it in a perfect way, the more time goes on and I'm not sharing. So I would just rather once a week press record, say something, put it on my laptop, upload it, send it to you, and just not worry about it. And I absolutely trust, because you've all told me this, that you're going to love it, whatever state it's in. And I trust that. And that's what I want to do going forward. So for FinFam folks who've been following me all the way through, I know this is going to come as good news to you because you just want content. For new people who are just following, I'm going to try not to say sorry, but I'm going to have to say sorry because I need to. These are going to be lower quality videos at the moment. I'm going to be recording mainly with my phone. The sound might not be as great. The editing might not be spot on. I know my Glastonbury videos were very loosely edited. The sound was quite poor in some of them, but I just want to get content up. So apologies if the, what's the word for it? The the quality of my videos isn't quite as good as it was. I just want to get my thoughts up there. Now, on a real serious note, there is also a reason for why I want to be a little bit more on the perfectionist side. Now, in all honesty, you know what I'm like. I've worked on so much of myself over the last 10, 11 years. But the one thing I think's got worse is my perfectionism. Now, when I turned this hobby of mine from making videos into my business, from sharing my stuff online, that's how I've developed and started earning money through this in speaking and in writing. So this is very much, I don't earn much money itself from YouTube, but it's what I earn through people finding me on here. So people find me on YouTube and then hire me as a speaker. People have found me on here and then asked me to do writing, interviews and so forth. So it is also important that people see the best of me on here, so there was a good reason why I wanted to improve my quality of things on here. But I think what that's done is it's unfortunately made my perfectionism a lot worse. And I don't know if you remember, lots of you might do, that I think I've been kind of awakening to this for a while, even before I got ME, because I was getting really frustrated with the whole kind of when you're self-employed and you're in this kind of industry, you have to kind of do all the whole search engine optimization and keyword optimization and marketing and all of that doesn't really sit with me. It's just not something I'm hugely comfortable doing. I'm better at it than I used to be, but I'm not great at it. I don't like it. It's utterly exhausting. And that was taking a lot of the joy out of doing a lot of this anyway. And that's what is really hugely exhausting and what takes a lot of perfectionism, because every time I upload a video, I've got to think about, is the title high ranking on Google, is there enough keywords and all of these things. So that's kind of driven the perfectionism a lot from uploading videos. But on a serious note, it worries me, because if the quality of my content goes down, if I'm not putting enough effort into that, am I still going to get speaking gigs, writing gigs and so on? So anybody watching this who wants to still hire me as a speaker or a writer, please know that in a professional capacity I will be much better at presenting myself. These are just my rough online diary. I mean, I'm just going to have to be at peace with myself and trust that people know that on a professional level I'm going to be much different. Does this make sense? This is what I'm wrestling with at the moment, that on the one hand I want to go back to the much more raw content, but what has been holding me back is this fear that if I don't keep up this this bar that I've set myself, that I might then lose any potential work. It is a worry. It's a real worry. But I mean, I'm already not doing the marketing and the SEO and all that I was, because I just don't have the energy to do it. At the end of the day, I love making content. I love connecting with people. I love knowing that I make a difference. And that's what I fell in love with doing this in the first place. And that's what I want to get back to. I'm missing making content, and but the biggest frustration is all of these ideas I'm having and all this stuff that's going on with me that I desperately want to share. And because of this kind of need to just present it so well and talk about trans this week and mental health this week and blah, 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 and organise it properly and all of this, it's stopping me. And that's just ridiculous, isn't it? So I'm sure I'd rather make content that's a bit sloppy than no content at all. So how long have I gone on for? 10 minutes. I'm also trying to keep it under 10 minutes so that it's not too exhausting, because I know I get exhausted after 10 minutes watching stuff, so I'm also trying to keep it low. So this was a waffle brought to you by Finn. In a nutshell, going forward, you're going to see content from me much more regularly, but the quality of it's going to be lower. So anybody new watching this, my content is going to be a bit rough around the edges, but I am very rough around the edges at the moment because I'm not a very well bunny, but I'm making my way in the world at the moment as somebody who isn't a very well bunny, but has just bitten his tongue. Again, I keep biting my tongue. But I want to share what that's like right now. And people who have been following me for years and are part of the Finn fam already, I think you're just going to be clapping for joy knowing that there's going to be content, even if it is rough around the edges. And anybody who's new is just going to hopefully just love this new rough around the edges Finn. Hopefully. But if not, it's just not for you, is it, really? This is me. This is me. And if you like it, welcome. If you don't, that's okay. Anyway, love you lots. By the way, quick question. I've forgotten what the question was. I had a question for you. Yes, YouTube Shorts. Do you like them or don't you like them? Do you remember I was doing this series, this Finn's walking shorts, little 1 minute videos? Do you want me to keep doing them? Because I haven't done one for ages. Are you people that watch shorts? Don't you watch shorts? Let me know in the comments below, and let me know what you think about this new idea of just going once a week and seeing what happens. Love you, bye.
Talking boy.